Kids can get hurt on anything. Marshmallows, they can get hurt.
Thank you, John. You're good.
Welcome everyone. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is the approval of minutes. Everyone read them? Any questions? Any corrections? Have a motion.
I make a motion to pass them.
Becky made a motion to pass it. Ethan seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Unanimous. Approval of claims and payroll. The claims are $368,823.43. And you said some insurance premiums are involved.
That was the majority of, some of the higher invoices.
And the payroll is $52,725.63. Anybody questions? Motion? Ethan made a motion to approve.
I second.
Becky seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Unanimous. American Legion request.
Hi, I don't know if you all remember me. I was here a few months ago. Talked about the American Legion wanted to sponsor the parade for 2025, the big celebration. We have a little saying in our Legion, we always give out to our community. And if I can take a couple of minutes just to explain, a lot of people have the wrong impression about the American Legion. They think it's a party club for old men. On some days, this is true. However, the American Legion gives out a lot of money every year. Prime example is this past spring, we gave out $20,000 in grants for seniors from the high school. The American Legion, as you all seen advertised, we do the pork chop and fried chicken dinners, and that money in turn goes around and we donate it to other organizations. Something else the American Legion has is, and a lot of you are not familiar with, it's something called the 40 and 8 Club. This was done back in France, back during the Revolutionary Wars where it started. And what the guys would do is they would gather supplies and take them to the different areas where soldiers were being fixed up, so to say. They would drop off Band-Aids, gauze, alcohol, things like that. the American Legion has taken on this project. This year, we gave out $12,000 in college scholarships for seniors that are going on to nursing. So we also do the fourth grade flag program where we go to all the fourth grade classes. We hand out booklets telling you all about the flag, telling you about your government, and then we do tests. And what we do is we pick out 2 students from each school and we give them a $50 check and an American flag. If one of our winners from our post, which we had this year, because all the legions do this, they go on to national. And we were fortunate enough that we had a winner from our post go to national. And the stories that these children tell about what the flag means to them is very, very powerful. We don't normally ask for money. I have been shunned a little bit, but this project that we're working on is very important. And the reason I say that is our American Legion post does not have anything to honor the veterans. We are one of very few posts in the state. So apparently the project was started back when, I don't know if some of you may remember, Ray Anaheim and Fred Chaplow had started looking into it, and somewhere the ball got dropped. We've decided that we need to pay homage to the veterans of Franklin County. I don't have a big presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send around pictures. Can I approach?
Sure,
I don't want to
sure.
be rude or anything.
No, no.
These are all the same. They're numbered. And the first picture is what it looks like now. And I'll just send those around and I'll explain what's going on. The first picture is how you see it when you come. Well, if you came in a couple of weeks ago. The second picture is the area where the memorial will be placed. And it will be placed as you're looking at the Legion to the left of the flagpoles in a corner, and it's going to have a light on it. The third picture is the cleanup of the area that we did. The fourth picture is the monument as it came to Jonas. The fifth picture is a black and white rendition of the monument. And the final picture is what the monument will look like. And this is what it's going to look like. We had sayings to pick out. We wanted something strong, powerful, and we feel the words that it was John Kennedy, excuse me, cited were really very touching and meant something to everyone. So this will be a place where anybody in Franklin County can come. Like I said, there's very few legions that don't have one, and we are one of those. Jonas Memorial Arts is doing our stone. I've already got permission from 811. I've got to go on everything. They've already taken the slab foundation down there too, because it's got to go 3 foot deep in order to overcome the frost line. So we're asking for money to help defray the cost. Like I said, Legion does not normally do this. But this is something I think that all Franklin County residents will appreciate. The other thing is, this is phase 1. Phase 2, the last picture you see are bricks. We will be selling bricks to help defray some of the costs, but that's phase 2. The first brick that we're putting down will be a 12 by 12. And it will have Bernard Hurst's name on it, since he is the reason we have the American Legion post. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
Do you have a cost estimate on what this?
Yes, I do. It's $11,000. I lied. It's $10,964 change.
Oh,
$11,000 is what it is.
Yeah.
We've raised just about $3,000. I'm not proud to ask. Some of the older veterans were very much against it. We voted on it and the rest said, let's see who we can get help from. So we're coming to you all.
they were against going out and getting
They
help.
felt that since the Legion is always there for the community, you know, we do the Easter egg hunt, we do breakfast with Santa. You know, so we do the scholarships, we do give back to the community. This is very near and dear, and it should be to everybody's heart, because I'm sure every family has a member that was served in the service, whether it be World War I, World War II, Vietnam, whatever. I just came back last night from I didn't go on the honor flight, I was too young for the honor flight. You have to be 72. But it was an honor bus tour. We started in Shanksburg, Pennsylvania, where the plane went down, and then they took us into DC, and wow, the memorials there are beautiful. But at any rate, so that is our request, that, you know, we get a little bit of help if we can.
Now, individuals, how can they donate to this?
If an individual wishes to donate, they can just make a check out to the American Legion, and I request that in the memo, you put memorial.
And who do you give it to?
You can take it to the Legion, you can mail it, you can give it to me. Jeff Tebby is our finance officer. He has a separate account. Because I wanna make sure that we recognize the donors. The other thing is we are doing an unveiling in time for Veterans Day, which we felt was very appropriate.
Yeah,
Veterans Day falls on a Tuesday or Wednesday this year, I forget. We'll be doing it on Sunday the 9th. So we're hoping to have a big crowd there and have it very well advertised.
you have an impressive program for Veterans Day.
Yes, we help a lot of veterans. We just helped a young lady that had a lot of problems. She moved here. We paid her first 2 months rent. We bought her groceries. So we do help a lot of the veterans. That's what we're here for. That's what your American Legion, your VFW posts and all those are for. And we all try and work together. So does anybody have any questions? It's a beautiful monument. I had picked one out and Mr. Jonas had asked me if I could wait. And I said, sure. He said, I have something I want to show you. And a week later, called me, we went over, and he covered it up so I couldn't see it, but the minute he uncovered it, I fell in love. He has put $2,300 toward the monument, for the cost of the one I was gonna get. And they're doing all the work. They're gonna lay our bricks, everything, so that way we know it's done professional. So,
Anybody got any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? Any comments? Motions?
I was just gonna say the Duke Energy representative that we had met with previously that I forwarded to you, he was. One of the initiatives they said they were focusing on was veterans memorials, so.
I'll make sure I do
Yeah,
that.
I think that would be a really
Thank
good
you.
resource to have, yeah.
We've reached out to like REMC, we've also reached out to the big corporations like Pepsi, Owens Corning. I haven't heard anything yet, but it's okay, it's okay. I'm a patient person sometimes.
Do you guys want to take some time to think about this?
Yes.
Do you want to make a motion to table this until,
I make a motion to table it.
okay. Becky made the motion to table. Do I have a second? Ethan seconded, all in favor, all opposed, unanimous.
Thank you,
All right.
appreciate your time.
Is it okay if we go to the Winter Wonderland electric estimates so they don't have to sit through the whole thing? Good moment.
Hi, by way of introduction, my name is Rhonda Heberling, and this is my husband, David Heberling. And we are just one of the few people that are on a committee to help bring Winter Wonderland to Brookville and increase it and improve it each year. As a part of that, we have reached out to Doug Ludwig, who has done the electric in the park to date. And he has put together an estimate which consists of 4 installments of different electric along the driving path. When we walked it tonight, there is from the last current electric to the front of the park on the, that would be the,
East and southwest.
so let's start with the southwest one. They are both, I should say, both of them are 900 feet between the last electric and the end of the run. So 900 feet, what happens, and Doug explained this to us last year, that for every foot that it goes past, you're losing wattage. And so what we found last year was that the ones close to the end of the run, which was Four Seasons, had a tree up there. We had Moster Turf had one up there. By the time they got up there, there was not enough electricity even for the LED lights to stay lit. So it caused some concern because theirs were so dim and they had invested a lot of time, effort, and energy, money, resources to make a great impression. And they did have beautiful trees. So, and at the other northeast corner is the same thing. It's approximately 900 feet. The estimates here would get us, a lot better at least. The estimates on those are anywhere from 200 feet to 300 feet of additional electric. So at least it would get us closer. So each of these estimates, for the most part, are somewhere around $2,700 with the, it would be the northeast corner was $3,900. So we do have 4 estimates, of which when we met, Winter Wonderland Committee met this past Thursday, we agreed that our committee, who has worked and done different fundraising projects throughout the years, and actually 2 years, we would like to use our money to pay for at least one of the electrical things. So if anyone that might be listening to this program would like to donate additional monies for the project, even if they would just like to, tackle one of them at a time, we would like to see if anyone can help us with this project. All 4 of them are really truly necessary to put forth the project.
One thing I'd like to mention is we had somewhere around 80 trees decorated by volunteer organizations or families last year. And the problem was we were there every night trying to rewire things and keep them lit because it was kind of a mild disaster because the power kept going out. We have GFCIs for safety reasons.
Yeah.
A little bit of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of issues trying to keep it. And as she said, the south end, we couldn't light some of the trees just because the run was too long. So anything we can do to help that. And the thought is, again, one box on each side of the road at both ends to get us closer so that we can hopefully maintain it and hopefully have more trees this year.
Is there a priority list on these, or which ones you need more than others?
Yeah, the worst of the southwest corner and the northeast corner.
What's the
They're
price?
900-foot runs, both of them.
What's the price of those two?
One of them is, let's see.
3910 for the northeast and 2790 for the southwest. Those were the runs that gave us a lot of problem, and they're 900 feet long, so it makes sense. Ludwig brought out 10 gauge extension cords and just loaned us like 10 of them, and we ran them down south, and we still couldn't get the the juice to keep all the lights lit on the south end.
Can I ask how much you guys have raised besides what you have?
Um,
Have you raised any other money besides that?
no, that, the number that Gina has is exactly what we have raised to date. The only other thing that we have done is we've taken it upon ourselves to go to different various vendors. Home Depot was gracious enough to give us a bunch of electrical cords, and they gave us a bunch of lights. So all these businesses, you know, we don't ask for money, they give us product. So we have gotten things from Myers, we've gotten things from Gilman's. We've gotten things from Home Depot and Lowe's. So we have a 9-foot tall Santa to use this year. And all of these, none of them are inflatables, because that's one thing that we've put on there that we're not wanting to use inflatables. But we also have a 9-foot tall archway that was donated by Home Depot. So we've gone out last year and tried to get all these different businesses to just donate things, and they've been very gracious.
I talked to Rocky this morning and he wanted to be here, but he's got something going on with his family, but he asked me to table it. He would like for it to be tabled because I think he would like to come in and talk too.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion to table it for next time.
Does anybody have any questions or anything? Bill?
My question would be, to use tip money. Use tip money to offset expenses within a park.
Well, that's the redevelopment.
The people that, that's, I'm just saying.
You did reach out to Rita.
Mhm.
So, and yeah, and I gave it, so you'll have to reach back out because you reached out to me. Yeah, okay.
Was that just tonight?
Yes, just
Okay.
tonight, yeah.
So did you hear Bill?
Yes.
So you want town redevelopment board agenda, bring it to their attention would be my recommendation, these guys are in charge.
So they meet next Monday here at 6. If you can make it, I can let Todd know that maybe you'll be attending.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that all right with y'all?
And
Do they have a
again,
vote?
part of what we want to do is just get it in the minutes so that people know we're looking for individual donations, whether it's $20, $50, $100, whatever, to help buy new electricity. And we've spent, we've probably collected over $1,000 worth of Christmas decorations since last Christmas to make things better and bigger this year. So
We appreciate all you do. It's a wonderful program. It really is.
It is, and we have a great staff of volunteers, always looking for additional
Yes.
volunteers though, because it is a lot of work. So if anyone that's listening here tonight has some extra time that they would like to come and join our group, you know, we're a fantastic group of people that are trying to do our best to make it even better this year than last.
Is there deadlines when you put the stuff up, when it has to be
Yes.
gathered back up?
Yes, the very first one is Christmas lights in the park can start to be installed November 1st through the 9th. And then we're given from the 9th through to November Noel, which is on the 22nd of November. And then the light up will be on the night of the 22nd. That will also accompany the golf cart parade. And then once Christmas is through, they have the entire month of January to pick up lights, but everything should be picked up and put away by the end of January. And the reason we go into January is just, we don't know weather-wise, you know, what we might be running
Yeah.
into.
we actually extended it last year because of the snow, and we wanted to see the lights in the snow, and it was wonderful, except the snow lingered for 3 weeks, so it was 3 weeks till we could get out there and take everything down.
It was all frozen, but
Yeah.
that's what makes it a
It
winter
made, it
wonderland.
made for great pictures.
It did.
It's my motion to table it.
Okay, Becky made a motion to table, second, Ethan seconded, all in favor, opposed? Thank you, and come Monday.
Okay, very last comment. There are a couple of new things that we're wanting to include this year, and one will be a scavenger hunt for the families we'll put it in the Winter Wonderland site, and each night we're gonna have gift wrap present for a boy and a girl. that will have kind of like a riddle of where to find it. So everybody can actually look at that Winter Wonderland website and figure out where that hidden present is that will be gift wrapped for a boy or a girl.
Well,
That's awesome.
very good.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Hope you didn't mind the delay, Bill. You're next.
Well, I didn't leave, sleep, because I think that program has got a ton of potential. My wife thinks it's the greatest thing. We have a little jar that they bring down and set at our shop, and I think my wife puts more money in there than anybody. But yes, and so I came over here this evening or whatever, just to address what we call Opportunity Zone 2.0. So I'm not sure how familiar the board is with the Opportunity Zone here in Brookville, Indiana. But in 2018, we established a opportunity zone for Main Street and or for the town of Brookville. I guess it does encompass, there is a geographical area of it, but it encompasses the town of Brookville. So, and that program has been used here in Brookville on a number of occasions where you have the ability to use tax revenue, meaning capital gains tax revenue, and it helps offset some of those taxes when that's done. And it has been used in Brookville, Indiana, and it's, I guess I don't know for a fact, but I'll say that I believe it's probably the #1 place in the United States of the United States of America where it has been done and marketed correctly, to the point where people have been coming here to ask us how you did it and what you did. And so that was Opportunity Zone 1.0, I'll call it. I think it's just called Opportunity Zone. So in 2.0, the rules may change. We're not sure about how it's being structured or how to be set up. And we're kind of early in the game, but we want to stay ahead of it. We'd rather be proactive than reactive to the whole thing. And it's been a huge success in this area in the past. And so when it was done back in 2017 or 18, when it was put in play, they identified 2 tracks in Franklin County. One of those tracks was Brookville. The other track was Metamora. And as I'm with the county's redevelopment, Sean here's with the county's economic development. And so as we move forward, we were engaged in a process of working with the town and the redevelopment commission, maybe with the town and originally, and putting it in place. I actually dug through some things just to see what I could find as to, because I couldn't see the dates exactly. But it was, I got this date, this email, Thursday, April 19th, 2018. And it said our track was nominated to the U.S. Treasury, awaiting details on how to take the final sign off. And then we'll be pulling more information from the user side of the program, the CPAs, so we can have a packet of how to take advantage of the incentive. Congratulations, team Nick Lawrence. Nick is the one who helped us put this all together in the first place, and Nick would be engaged in it again if we get to that point. What we're really basically, I'm just wanting to make sure that the town would be on board if we can continue to keep the opportunity zone in play. If this time it was actually, I think it was referred to as a 10-year program. I've heard it runs through 2027. The new program, I believe, is supposed to start in 2026. We're not sure. The rules are a little different, but like I said, we're ahead of the game, but we don't want to, shall I say, be wasting our time trying to achieve this goal. In this case here, it says here that I think there was 300 in the state of Indiana. There was 357 places they had to choose from, and they picked a percentage of that, and only 156 of those were nominated by Governor Holcomb. So the governor will be the one in this case to appoint those places again. And so we just were trying to stay ahead of the game. So basically we got 2 ideas, I'll say. One is Brookville, again, is an opportunity zone 2.0. The second one is Metamora, which was identified before, would be possibly combined if we can pull that off. We don't know if the governor's office or whether we're going to be able to connect the tracks, but that might be a pipe dream for us to some degree. But we would consider connecting those 2 dots and creating one zone. And it would help alleviate the fact that there's only a certain percentage of what they're going to adopt, like 25% of what had been identified is all that I think they're going to put in play. At least that's what we're hearing in the interim of it. So it doesn't cost anything. If we have to engage Nick at some point in time, I'll say back in 18 or 20, back in 2018, Nick was contracted with both the county and the town working for us all. In this event, there's been occasions where now I think he works with the county and he's under contract on an hourly rate basis. On the town, it would be a similar situation, but anything that would ever come to a cost would be brought to your attention. And as far as we know, there was zero cost involved. There's zero cost involved up to this point in time, but just basically being a consensus that says, hey, if you guys want to continue to pursue this and keep us in the loop. I know John and I speak periodically, and so I could constantly keep you up to date. When this was done, before we could do it, we needed letters of support. So we'd be coming back to the town at some point in time as we get closer to it to ask for a letter of support. And we got letters from the Community Foundation. We got letters from all over. Actually, me being involved with the Regional Economic Development Ready, we're considering the idea of looking at the other 5 counties besides us, 6 counties in total, and see if they also have some interested locations. I know Dearborn County has spoke out to me about where they may have had a nomination back then and they didn't get it. I'm not sure if Ohio or Switzerland County, I think one of those 2 might have one now, but we're just basically thinking that regionally, since everybody's trying to think regionally and keep that regionally thing in play, that I would go back to my Ready board and ask them if we get to that point to give us a letter of endorsing the project or whatever regionally, and we would endorse any of the areas nominated within the region. But so I'm really not asking for anything more than just we want to make sure that if it's something that's desirable and that we want to continue to pursue it, and if we have the ability to link those 2 with Metamora, we'd like to do so.
What was done with Opportunity Zone 1?
Please.
What was done with Opportunity?
So I know that the Valley House was a piece of it, and the Cobblestone was a piece of it. And I believe there may have been other businesses that I'm not privy to or whatever that also took advantage of it. We met last week with some people from the Secretariat or Department of Housing at the Valley House. And there was people here from Michigan. There was people from all over. There's a meeting coming up in Chicago, and they've asked Bruce Rippey, who was involved in that project, to go to Chicago and speak, because there's a book that's been written by somebody that across the country where they went everywhere. There's a chapter in there about Brookville doing it right. So let's just say that people are looking at us to say, how'd you do that? And I was at the meeting when we met with the people from Housing and Urban Development and the Great Lakes regional area, and they were nothing but impressed. And so that's why when we said, can we connect the dots between these 2, we felt confident that we could put an opportunity zone on the moon if we wanted to after that meeting. Let's just say, okay. And so we felt like we really were hit it pretty well. And so again, the new governor this isn't Governor Halcomb no more. So we'll see how it all pans out. But basically, we're just interested. But those are the projects that I know of. I believe we've looked into it, and actually these numbers come from Todd Thackeray, which is your redevelopment board president, I believe still. But I think there's about $29 million worth of private investment involved in what has taken place since 2018.
Have you been before Brookville redevelopment about this?
No.
Why not?
I can. I mean,
I think that would be the first stop.
Really? Okay, it's fine.
Go to them, and then they can talk to us about it.
That's fine. That's fine.
We
So,
kind of work in tandem.
that's perfect.
When you go to the redevelopment, try to have everything down on paper, written down on paper so that they can see it. So I think that's what they like. Yeah.
It's fine. I'll see if I can get that, because like I said, we're kind of early in the game, and so we're seeing how some of this stuff falls, but I can have some of those statistics and stuff for sure. I've got, because Todd is the one who printed them off for me, so I can get with Todd. And
I do have a
Todd may be
question.
able to speak on it better than me.
So why would Brookville want to give up this designation to Metamora?
They wouldn't give it up they wouldn't want to. That's why it would be somewhat competitive
That's
if
right.
there were 2 of them going after each other. That's why we're trying to see, can we link them?
But we would still lose our designation, wouldn't we?
No,
I don't.
Wouldn't we?
no.
It sounds
It
like it.
sounds like it.
So how would you lose your designation? I want to make sure I'm clear, because
Well, the funds would be going to Metamora and not Brookville.
no, well, we're trying to link those
And
2
Brookville
locations.
is the one that did the
The work.
footwork to get this.
So why can't Metamore do their own footwork? Not that we
They
dislike
can.
Metamore.
They can. We're just trying to make sure that to keep the competitiveness out of it so that Metamore is going against Brookville. We were trying to say, hey, we're trying to link these two pieces together.
But if we lose that,
You won't lose anything because it's going to expire in 2028. The only thing you have to do is gain a new opportunity. This is 1.0 or opportunity zone that's here currently. What we're looking at is the new one, 2.0. So the
Yeah, but
old
there's
one
a
still
lot of
exists.
Unanswered questions at this point though, correct?
There are a lot of, I mean, I'm being honest with you, yes, and that's what
Yeah.
we're, but I want to say we're trying to be proactive instead of reactive. So as we can stay ahead of it, we will, but
Do you have any projects in mind to come out of this?
no, I don't here. I do in Metamore.
what are those projects?
So there's just, it all comes in link with the possibility of Metamore achieving a grant for $14 million to help with the canal situation that's there. And as those funds, if those funds become available, there are people who have an invested interest in property out there.
And as far as apartment buildings?
I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what, right now, I know that there's a couple of the like retail space on the basement and living quarters above, similar to our Main Street.
Isn't affordable housing part of this?
It could be. I mean, it can be like here in Brookville, there's been people who've looked at property on the other side of the river who have came at us with those ideas. And that would,
I mean, that was Valley House, correct? Was
No,
supposed to be
well, that
affordable
would.
living.
yes.
I think the lack of transparency here is a problem. And I think it's like other things that we've had to deal with, and I think we need to get more information on this. And I think, and again, Brookville giving up, because it would, from what I understand and from what I've been told, Brookville would lose money. So,
So
and
I will be at your meeting on Monday, or I will have Todd explain it to you guys.
Okay,
Because Todd's the one that crunched the numbers and maybe I haven't done it clearly or whatever, because I don't see a negative in it necessarily, just nothing but positive. So that's fine.
So can you do what you want to do without us?
We could go
Okay,
after
then why are you
Metamore.
coming, why are you coming here then?
Because we were hoping to be able to work with you guys in conjunction to create a collectively create two of them. But if we had to just go after Metamore, I guess we could, and that's what we're trying to be uncompetitive.
You don't mind me, but
Sure.
just to be clear, this is not. It's not pointed towards any project in particular. What this does is set up a system where if somebody such as Bill decided he was gonna sell some property. And he had a capital tax gain that he's gonna pay taxes on. Then he can invest that in a project in the opportunity zone, wherever. And then he can delay paying those taxes and maybe even eliminate them if this thing lasts for 10 years. And that's the reason this is expiring in 2028. So that 10 was when it was closing. And it's at the very end of the window where you're gonna get most people doing the investment, so to get that full 10-year delay or even elimination. The elimination came into 1.0 if you did a certain type of project, but you can invest in it. So just what the idea is to take money that people are sitting on because they don't want to pay taxes on it. Maybe they have some property they want to sell, they won't sell it because they won't pay taxes on it right now. And you're trying to get that to move, and therefore get that money and then use it for something else, something new. And that's why it turned out that two big projects were Valley House and Hotel. And I don't think the hotel would have happened without it. I'm sure the Valley House would have happened without it. And so it's not pointed towards any one type of project. It's any project that they want to come up with. As long as they follow the rules and follow the federal tax rules or anything else. And it's kind of a competition, but it's not at the same time. When we did this before, it came down to where was the best place to invest the money. And then we knew these projects were something they've been talking about. So Brookville made sense to have that opportunity zone here. And the reason how you're chosen is you have to be in a lower income census tract. Brookville falls into that, believe it or not. And then Metamore, Laurel does as well. But the point was, where is the best opportunity for investment to take place? And Brookville was the place. And that's why Brookville was actually chosen. They could have gone after Metamore then as well. That hasn't changed. But the point that Bill's trying to make is not so much that it's a competition here at this point, it's just that if we have an opportunity to merge the two, then it's a lot easier for us to go and ask IEDC on the federal government's behalf of designating us as one of those places. And if you don't want to do it, that's okay. But at the same time, if we see advantage combining the two, you look at more influence up in Indianapolis. And right now, IEDC is going through some changes, and if the elected officials say, yeah, we think this is a good idea, they listen to that long without maybe the governor probably known is making big changes up there. And so if he's behind this project, which appears he is, and it's actually an extension, 2.0 is an extension of this opportunity under President Trump in his first term. He's the one who first did this. And so there's continuing to do that again. We're thinking the rules are going to be similar, we just don't know exactly what it would be something. So, you know, the reason for us being here is not because we should see you for redevelopment. This is just the first opportunity that we've had since this came up to talk to anybody here at Brookville, and thought it'd be better start with you. But coming to redevelop makes sense as well.
Yeah.
But there shouldn't be a lot of transfer of money needed or things like that. Maybe some administrative costs to do it or get it set up. You know, perhaps pay me to do this. And so if you want to be part of it, great. If you don't, that's okay too.
But isn't it true? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
But isn't it true? I mean, if we did not combine this with Metamore for you guys would have to wait for the next round to sign up for this.
Well, let's put it this way, anybody can try to qualify. So Brookville on its own, try to qualify. Metamore on its own, try to qualify.
And that wouldn't be until what,
And
next
that
year,
would
or the
be
year after?
County then would be supporting that. So if you can do that, it's not a big deal. However, as we found in the past, especially when it came to the Oprah grant, remember, John, it was better to have Brookville and County together than it was to have Brookville and County separate. And that's one reason we actually ended up with the grant, is that the two of us work together on it.
And my question would be, who's going to gain and who's going to lose on this deal?
Well, there should be no gain or no loss because of this. You establish yourself. Period. Do you have people in Brookville that want to invest in a project in Brookville? If that's the case, you get them out here and you have them say, we want to invest in Brookville. Here's a project. And if somebody in Metamore wants to invest in a project out there, they can do that too. The whole idea is that you have this blanket over the two regions or two areas, and that the money can go to either one, just under what the project is. And you could have people in Brookville say, hey, I think it's a really good idea to do X in Metamore, so we're going to put money over there. At the same time, you could have anybody in the county or Metamore say, the project in Brookville somebody's come up with, we want to put our money there. So it all depends on what they're going to get out of it. And some of it is a tax break, but also like the Valley House and the hotel, the people investing in it making money. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to get investment in economically depressed areas that you would normally not get. And that's the problem we have in a lot of small counties in Indiana, especially southeastern Indiana. Look at Ohio County, I feel sorry for them. They're so tiny and they're surrounded by everything. And so it's really hard to get people to come in here and dump a lot of money. And that $29 million is a lot of money. The ARPA money helped us get, I forget how much million we ended up, but for instance, we spent $250,000, $1 million all told county gas companies investment to run the gas line 4 and 1. That had nothing to do with the opportunity zone. But it was again an opportunity to take some money that was available and put it into something that let people grow. So, you know, reference was able to improve their system inside. They needed that gas to get some new equipment in there and produce the product. The Marine Health Center wing, how's that? And allowed them to use gas instead of what first they did to power that building. That was $7 million by itself. Thompson Machinery and Smith, you know, they took advantage of the gas line as well. So those are projects. But when it came to the Valley House and Hotel, those are places where investors came in and said, we're willing to put our money down and make some money on this. So this is an opportunity to allow people to come to your area, put money on the line, invest that money, and then hopefully get a little bit of profit out of that and save their own tax. It's not our tax money, it's not Brookville's tax money, it's not Franklin County's tax money. It's what they'd be paying to the IRS. So that's where this is coming from. So
I was just mentioning,
for anybody, just, do we wanna have one unit if we can do it? We don't know if we can. Or do we wanna have different ones? Where's the most obvious place to invest money based on that?
And then when it came up back in 2018 and those two tracks were identified, when we talked to Nick, his point was you can spread your eggs out across two baskets if you want to put it that way, or you can shoot for one location. And I can remember talking with, back then it was Commissioner Tom Wilson, and we both said that we think right now the place to advance is going to be definitely on Main Street, Brookville. And there was definitely an interest here. And so we had the commissioners and the county and everybody writing letters of endorsement, endorsing the project or whatever in an effort to try and push that one. Now we're just thinking that, man, wouldn't it be nice if we could link the two, because there's invested interest in both Brookville with the housing, as he mentioned, or whatever, and Metamore too, because of it could be that Metamore, if they could get that off and running, that it would be a desirable location to try and develop or whatever, that much, that much more than it already is. So that's fine. We can get on the agenda. I'll talk with Todd, or I'll shoot Todd a message or whatever, get put on the agenda for redevelopment. And it may be a case where Todd himself could explain it, or I may ask Nick Lawrence at some point in time to explain it, because there's, I don't know if everybody's getting it as well as we did, whatever, but I'll make sure that Nick or someone can explain it maybe better than I can. So perfect.
I motion to table this to the next meeting.
Is there any more
Oh, sorry.
questions or statements?
Anything else to say there?
Yeah, I think I said all I can say.
Becky made a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second that.
Rick or Ethan seconded? All in favor? All opposed?
Good deal. We'll stay in touch.
All right.
Thanks.
I'll
Thanks.
see you Monday night.
That's perfect. That's perfect. We'll see. you then.
Remember Monday Night Football is on.
All right. Well, we got it. We got
You
it.
know,
going here shortly.
both and next Monday too.
Watch the games on-
Yes.
Thanks, thank you, you too. Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for the suggestion on Winter Wonderland, Bill.
I expect to get it paid full.
Yeah. We got a question for you.
I got a question. You said that monument was 10,900, and how much have you collected on it? How much?
About $3,000.
About 3,000.
So, and the donation letter went out, maybe a month ago. And I expect with summer and whatnot, people, they, some people only meet monthly. So whatever we get, and just work it from there. Like I said, phase 2, when we sell the bricks, it will not go out to the public at first. Our intent is with the bricks I have a list of all the members of the Legion. To send it to them first so they can have first dibs. And like I said, our bricks are different. They're white, that are the red color to pull out the snow. So, but we're working on it, and if not, I'll make sure. If I gotta go broke, I will.
Well, we hope it doesn't come to that.
I don't think it will either. I mean, Jonas has been very good. I signed the contract with them a few weeks ago, and they said, whatever you get, we'll take, and we'll work with you. So they're very good people.
Yeah.
Really. And I went around and got 3 different estimates, so to say. And Jonas was the only company that came out, because if you look at the picture of the Legion, when you come down the parking lot, you see those 3 flags, and it says Bernard Hurst Post 77. But to the left of the door, there's nothing. And I was all excited. I wanted it here because there's nothing there. And Mr. Jonas said, I'm really sorry to disappoint you. You're talking about $5,000 worth of excavation, because it goes down, So, and he walked all around the property. He said, front here, those look real nice. And one of our members from the Sons of the American Legion is a electrician, and he is going to do the electrical works for awesome. So,
That's a good deal.
yeah, it's a very good deal, but everybody has a veteran in the family.
Oh, yeah.
So someone. And like I said, this trip that we just came back from, the honor trip, it's a bus trip. And we left Friday and came back last night, and just very, to hear other veterans speak about their experiences and to stand in front of a monument and think about, that experience.
I've heard the site in Pennsylvania is very emotional.
It is heart wrenching. We're all moms here, I'm sure. Well, I know what I'm saying. They had a thing inside the building where they had phone calls.
Mm.
That the passengers made. I got goosebumps talking about it. And the one phone call really brought the tears. It was a mom who had called her daughter, knowing she would get home from school before
Oh.
Dad did, and said, "Listen, I want you to make sure you listen to Dad. Help him with dinner. I think I'm going to be a little bit late. Just know in your heart of hearts that I love you." And to know that those were her last words, and then there's a piece inside where they have all the parts that they have found. There was a piece of shoe there, just the biggest piece was 6x7, and you're talking 175-foot airplane. And just,
That was the biggest piece.
it was just really, it started the whole weekend off, just thinking how fortunate.
Mm.
I'm a veteran. I've not experienced some of the things that other veterans have experienced. There's very few female veterans. I was the only female veteran on this trip. And to me, it was a very big honor, and the guys treated me just like guys do, and I enjoyed it. It's, the other thing, if you ever get a chance, and I don't need to go to Shanksville, they have what's called the Tower of Voices. You cannot physically walk up there. And it's this big tower, and it looks like catacombs in it. And it has wind chimes, 40 wind chimes for the 40 passengers. There were 43 or 44. They did not include the terrorists like that.
No.
But each of those chimes make a different noise, so they call the Tower of Voices. Just very humbling to
It is a
experience.
beautiful line.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I got
No.
sidetracked.
Well, I've heard that from several people.
Have you ever been to New York to see the monument?
Not yet. It's
We
on
have
my
been.
bucket
It's
list.
beautiful,
Uh,
very somber,
yes, that's the way it was.
a lot of tears. Yeah.
Just, you wonder, I've seen the movie, as I'm sure everybody has. Those people knew on that flight,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't gonna make it.
Yep.
And just to know that, and one of the ladies on board was pregnant,
Mm.
didn't realize. But it was a very good experience that I think a lot of people, I enjoyed DC. I went there. And back as a kid, it's like, well,
Lost video.